The moment the glass shifted across the white linen tablecloth, everything changed, though no one noticed except the man who did it and the man whose life depended on it. In a crowded daytime restaurant filled with sunlight, polished cutlery, and the low hum of expensive conversations, a single father working as a waiter made a decision in complete silence. His hands trembled only slightly as he replaced one glass with another, his eyes never lifting, his face calm as if nothing at all had happened. Across the room, a billionaire paused mid-motion, a strange chill crawling up his spine, unaware that the smallest act of kindness had just pulled him back from the edge of something final. If you believe that kindness still exists in quiet places and that people deserve second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Spark. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Arav Ilyas had been awake since before sunrise, just like every other day. The small apartment smelled faintly of instant coffee and laundry detergent as daylight filtered through a cracked window. His 5-year-old son, Zain, slept curled under a faded blanket, one hand clutching a toy car missing a wheel. Arav stood there for a moment, watching the steady rise and fall of his child's chest, reminding himself why he kept going. Life had not turned out the way he imagined when he was younger. He once dreamed of studying engineering, of building things that lasted. Instead, he built a routine of survival, stacking trays and smiles, working double shifts, counting tips down to the last coin. The restaurant where Arav worked was called Solen, a high-end place with floor-to-ceiling windows and soft music that made even the simplest meal feel important. During the day, sunlight spilled across marble floors, illuminating crystal glasses and neatly folded napkins. Arav wore a clean but worn uniform, pressed carefully every morning. He moved quickly, quietly, always aware that one mistake could cost him his job. His manager liked efficiency, not questions, and Arav had learned long ago that silence was safer. That afternoon, the reservation list included a name everyone recognized: Marcus Vale, tech magnate, investor, billionaire, the kind of man whose presence changed the energy of a room without him saying a word. Marcus arrived alone, dressed simply, his expression distant, as if he carried a weight no one else could see. Arav noticed him right away, not because of the money, but because of the way he looked at the room, scanning it like someone searching for an exit, even while sitting down. Arav was assigned to his table. He delivered water, menus, and later, wine, his movements practiced and smooth. As he poured the drink, something caught his eye. It was subtle, almost nothing, a reflection in the glass, a faint, oily shimmer that did not belong. Arav froze for a fraction of a second, his heart skipping. Years ago, before life narrowed into survival mode, he had worked briefly in a small lab during a college internship. He remembered contamination signs, remembered how certain substances behaved in liquid under bright light. His mind raced. He knew how dangerous assumptions could be. Accusing a customer, especially someone powerful, could end his employment instantly. He thought of rent due in 3 days, of Zain's school shoes with holes in the soles, of how easily everything could collapse. But he also thought of something else, of his wife, Sana, whose absence still felt like a hollow space in his chest, of how suddenly life could end, without warning, without fairness. Arav did not speak. He did not hesitate long enough for fear to win. He simply switched the glass with another from the tray, placing the untouched one in front of Marcus Vale and taking the first away as if correcting a minor service detail. His face remained neutral, his breath shallow. He walked back toward the service station, his legs weak beneath him. Marcus watched the movement with sharp eyes. He had not asked for a replacement. He had not complained. Yet something in the waiter's posture felt deliberate, careful, protective. Marcus had spent his life reading people, negotiating billion-dollar deals based on micro-expressions and instinct. This small act, done without a word, without drama, set off every alarm in his mind. Minutes passed. The restaurant buzzed on. Marcus did not drink immediately. He stared at the glass, then glanced across the room at Arav, who was serving another table, focused, unaware that he was being studied. Marcus felt a strange tightening in his chest, a mix of curiosity and unease. Finally, he raised the glass, but instead of drinking, he subtly tipped it toward the light. He saw it then, a barely visible distortion, a scent that did not belong. The realization hit him with a force that left him breathless. Someone had tried to harm him, and someone else, a man with nothing to gain, had stopped it without demanding recognition or reward. Marcus set the glass down, his hands no longer steady. He had faced lawsuits, betrayals, and boardroom ambushes, but this was different. This was personal. This was silent. Security was alerted discreetly. The glass was taken away. The rest of the meal passed without incident, but Marcus barely touched his food. His thoughts were fixed on the waiter, on Arav, on the quiet bravery it took to act when no one was watching. When Marcus stood to leave, he paused near the service station. Arav met his eyes for the first time that day, confusion flickering across his face. Marcus did not say thank you out loud. He did not need to. His nod was slow, deliberate, his gaze filled with something heavy and sincere. Arav nodded back, unsure what it meant, only knowing that his hands were still shaking. That night, Arav returned home exhausted, unaware that anything extraordinary had happened. He heated leftover rice, listened to Zain talk about school, and tucked him into bed. The world did not suddenly change. Bills did not disappear. The ceiling still leaked when it rained, but somewhere a shift had begun. 2 days later, Arav was called into the manager's office. His stomach dropped. He imagined accusations, imagined being blamed for something he could not explain. Instead, he found Marcus Vale sitting calmly in a chair that looked far too small for his presence. The manager stood nearby,